Hey guys, and what's going on? This is Wits here, and I'm coming back at you with another DDL VGC Draft League team building video. This week we are going up against Mr. T and the Rossolini Thundershocks. His team is pretty scary. Something that stood out to me is that when somebody has a lot of eclectic mons, so to say, like ones that don't look like they have synergy, they really do have a ton of it. He has a lot of powerhouses in Metagross, Kartana, Dracovish, Dragonite, Rotom Wash, and then a lot of different support mons between Togekiss. Really, it's just Togekiss. It's the best Follow Me user, in my opinion, outside of Togetic, of course. It's Togetic. But no, Togekiss, it's grown-up Togetic. Effectively, much better move pool, bigger bulk, because it doesn't have to run the Eviolite, which is the biggest kind of, I would say kind of like a crux to Togetic, is that it kind of has to run the Eviolite in order to live on a lot of its hits, whereas Togekiss, it's just naturally bulky. But he also has other kinds of threats like Electivire, Nidoqueen, Obstagoon, Sceptile, and Drapion. Something I was really scared of this week is Dracovish. Like, that thing can put a hole through anybody's team. Especially with different kind of supports like a Kartana Max Airstream, or just Togekiss clicking that Follow Me button, redirecting the attacks away from Dracovish. But another thing that I thought would be kind of problematic, so to say, for my team is Crit Kiss. So what Crit Kiss is Togekiss holding a Scope Lens and with the ability Super Luck. And that thing maxing and clicking Max Airstream and Max Starfall and basically almost guaranteeing a critical hit. It's basically a 50-50 chance as to whether or not it gets a crit, is a massive, massive threat to my team. Being able to power up a Dragonite with Max Airstreams, power up a Metagross with Max Airstreams, even running a Weakness Policy Togekiss with Metagross Bullet Punching into it. Like, there's a whole lot that Mr. T can do. Even with Sceptile and Unburden taking advantage of my terrains, if they predict correctly and bring the right seed, they can proc their own Unburden boost and kind of put a wallop on my mons. So we'll see if that ends up coming to fruition when the match happens. But that's basically like a quick rundown of Mr. T's Rossolini Thundershocks. Now, why don't I show you what we are bringing this week? And that is right. Oh, not that team. That's my Series 7 VGC team. There we go. It's the PHL Flygons. So starting us off, we have Farabi, the G-Max Single Strike Urshifu, Focus Sash, making sure it lives at least that one hit to get a massive amount of damage off. Jolly Nature, Max Speed, Max Attack. That's really all it needs. Wicked Blow, Close Combat, Ice Punch, Iron Head. Wicked Blow in Close Combat, self-explanatory. There it's two main stabs, two main attacking moves. Ice Punch, mainly for that Dragonite, being able to break through that multi-scale and hit it for quad effective damage. Iron Head, good coverage for the Togekiss. That's really it. I mean, Urshifu's literally there just to be a physically offensive nuke. Follow it up with Lindblom, Oscar Lindblom making his debut here. With a Choice Scarf, Psychic Surge, but with a support set. Now, people might be asking, why Choice Scarf plus Helping Hand and Ally Switch? They have priority moves. Well, the main thing is with that Expanding Force, but also for the After You. Now, After You is a move where the target just moves right after the mon that uses it. So with a Scarf Indeedee here, I can click After You on any of my mons and have them immediately go next in turn order. Whoops, sorry. And its main target for this is Kevin Hayes, the Behem. Now, Behem is Life Orb, Analytic, but it has Trick Room. Now, Trick Room is a -6 priority move, but with After You, it doesn't matter. It ignores that negative priority and would make it so that I immediately get the Trick Room up. And as you guys saw in my previous week's match where I kind of got decimated by Trick Room and stat reduction, I'm trying to avoid that this week. And in this week alone itself, well, that's a sentence. In this week alone, Trick Room is going to be my friend. I just know it is. Like, my team is normally really, really fast. with the mons that I'm bringing, they're not that fast. Bar the Choice Scarf and DD and 2 other mons that you'll see. But anyways, the main mons on this team, the offensive pressure that I'm trying to go for in this Trick Room mode is this Behemoth and then Lapras as well, which you'll see next. But Behemoth under Trick Room has the potential to one-shot everything on my opponent's team. Shadow Ball Oko's Metagross, Expanding Force in Psychic Terrain Oko's basically everything else that's not named Obstagoon and Drapion. Energy Ball to take care of Rotom Wash. The only thing that this thing fears are those dark types, which Urshifu cover. So Kevin Hayes can come through and just run train against my opponent's team. And that's basically what this team is all about. Try and out-offense my opponent. Because as you saw with Metagross, with Dragonite, with Electivire even, if he brings a Life Orb set, with Crit Kiss and Togekiss, Dracovish, that is a lot of offensive pressure that anybody will be fearing. So with being in Trick Room and outslowing my opponent, I'll be able to kind of use my lack of speed, so to say, with this particular team against them. So we'll see if that actually ends up coming into fruition. But like I said, next up is Ivan Provorov, the Gigantamax Lapras. Now remember those 2 things in the very beginning that I said were a major threat to me? Dracovish and Crit Kiss? Yeah, Lapras doesn't care about those 2. Lapras is literally the only mon on my team that can take both of them. Freeze Dry, Oko's the Dracovish. Shell Armor, Assault Vest. I can't get critical hit. Period. End of story. Like a Max Airstream does 12% to this thing. It is bulky as all get out. And with moves like Freeze Dry, Body Press, I'm going to be putting in a lot of damage against their team. And then Sheer Cold is really just there just as a max move. If I end up clicking a Sheer Cold and it hits, hallelujah. But other than that, it's just for that power from G-Max Resonance. And you see Ice Shard there. Now, this Lapras is max defense, max HP, 0 attack IVs, bold nature. Why is Ice Shard there? That's why Ice Shard is there. Sean Couturier, the Naganadel, with a weakness policy. I'm going to be Ice Sharding my own Naganadel to trigger that weakness policy with Heat Wave, Sludge Bomb, Draco Meteor, and Protect. Those first 3 moves, his entire team gets an O-code by +2. I max Naganadel, and I get a kill. Guaranteed, no matter what, every time. It's almost not even fair. Like, +2 Draco Meteor, the only thing that can live a +2 Draco Meteor, like this whole combination of moves, I should say, from a regular or a maxed Naganadel, is a multi-scale Dynamaxed Dragonite. If that Dragonite doesn't Dynamax, I OHKO it. That's busted. So expect Naganadel to put in a ton of work this week. I would be shocked if Naganadel doesn't get at least 3 or 4 kills, period, in this match. Like the only way that it doesn't is if I bring Trick Room first game, and Trick Room just catches my opponent so off guard that I bring it again. But expect Naganadel to just put in a ton of work here. And then last but not least, we have Carter Hart, the Togetic. It's a Togetic. It does the same thing almost every single time. Follow Me, Life Dew, Yawn, Dazzling Gleam. This thing is a tank and a half. Follow Me, reducing that power of Vicious Rend. It's going to be tanking a lot of those hits. Life Dew to heal up the team. Yawn to put my opponent to sleep. Dazzling Gleam is literally just there in case I get taunted. Like, I'd never run a Pokemon with 4 support moves because that's just a taunt and a goodbye. So I want to be able to at least hit my opponent for some damage. That's why it's Super Luck as well. Dazzling Gleam, the chance to get a little bit of crit chance on both of my opponent's mons. And yeah, that's the team. Ooh, that's the wrong Urshifu. That's the Urshifu we're looking for. But anyways, that's the team for this week. So my main strategies, like I was saying before, is using Indeedee plus Behem in that Trick Room setting as that lead, and that would mean that I will choice myself into After You, which could be a little problematic because after I click after you, they're going to know that I'm scarfed based on their lead. The only way that they don't is if they lead the like Togekiss plus a slower mon, Drapion, so to say. I think Drapion's base 95, so that might speed tie. But just as the example, say they lead those two mons, I click after you, get the Trick Room off. I would then have to switch out Indeedee into something like Lapras to take some hits, as Behem goes for the raw power. So that's the only worry with that setup, is like swapping in the Togetic. That's probably the better play, swapping in the Togetic. That way I can either Life Do or Follow Me, so the Behem can run train with those expanding forces and those Shadow Balls. But yeah, so that's game plan for game 1, is going that Trick Room route, or going for the Lapras plus Naganadel. I'll probably decide in the middle of game 1 which one I want to go for first. But I'm leaning more towards Lapras Naganadel. As much as Indeedee Behem is a good lead, I'm leaning toward the Lapras Naganadel just to put that much pressure on my opponent to start out. But we'll see how the match actually ends up. It should be going up tomorrow by the time you're seeing this video. It might go up the same day. We'll see. Like I said, I am a little bit behind on these uploads, but that was it for me. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out my opponents in the description down below. I will be putting their links if they record them, like have a video or a channel themselves. Also, give a follow to Sierra, who hosted this league as well. Her links will be in the description down below too. So thank you very much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Peace.